and bachelorette parties can certainly be memorable, but they should be memorable as a celebratory reunion of your lifelong grown-up friends, not because a fight broke out at the dinner table over splitting the bill. Here are my 5 best tips for planning and paying for a bachelor or bachelorette party. My first piece of advice is to set expectations around costs and how you'll split them. One way to do this is to actually appoint a sort of group CFO. This is some person who handles all of the transactions. They might actually be the person actually paying for everything, or they might just be collecting receipts from everyone else and making sure that everyone gets reimbursed. The nice thing about being the one person who pays for everything is that one, you have control of the costs and making sure that all the money is going where it's supposed to. But the second benefit is that you might actually be the one who's able to collect the credit card points for all those expenses. If you're actually reimbursing multiple different people, there are a couple apps that I recommend to do this easily. Apps like Venmo can easily send money to one another, or use apps like Splitwise, which can get a little bit more granular in analyzing receipts and making sure that everyone's paid appropriately. Another important task of a group CFO is to ensure that everyone is aligned on the budget. It's a good idea to reach out to everyone and ask them, what is your budget? This can be done anonymously if money conversations are uncomfortable, or just straight up ask. And from there, be prepared to prep for awkward money situations. What happens if someone arrives late, leaves early, or doesn't attend all of the activities? Maybe they skipped out on a show that everyone went to. Have a plan for if their cost should be the same as everyone else. Then think about dietary considerations. Maybe someone's vegetarian or doesn't drink alcohol. Their dinner bill might be different than everyone else's. Plan if they should still pay the same amount as the rest of the group. Then there's the cost of matching outfits. You might have everyone wearing matching t-shirts or tiaras, but what if someone doesn't want to pay for those things? And finally, people might be misaligned on different luxuries. Someone might want to take a limo from the airport to the hotel, while someone else might be fine with the hotel shuttle. I don't have the right answer for what to do in all of these scenarios because they vary by group, but my best advice is to have a plan. Number 2, be okay splitting up. This might be a good way to account for all those awkward money situations I mentioned earlier. It could start before the trips really even started with the airfare. Someone might want to fly first class, while someone might want to fly on a budget airline. It's okay if everyone books their airfare separately. Once on the trip, it's also okay to split up. Understand that maybe your grade school BFFs might be on a different budget than your work friends who are also coming on the trip, so it's okay to do things separately. Maybe you're out on a big ski trip. Someone might actually pay for the ski rentals and going down the slopes, but others might just stay home at the cabin drinking hot cocoa and playing board games. That's a free option. Similarly, if you're out in Vegas, someone might want to go to all the shows, while others might just be fine people watching on the Las Vegas Strip. Honestly, splitting up can be more logistically easy anyway. Number 3, decide where and when you're partying. Once you know your budget, decide the time and place. As far as timing goes, I really recommend you look into traveling during shoulder season. This isn't the high season like traveling during the holidays or the summer, but it's not the low season. The nice thing about traveling during shoulder season is you typically get the benefits of nice weather, plenty of availability of things to do, but often at lower rates. As far as where you're actually traveling, first look within your group. Does someone have an awesome house that they can donate? Do they have a timeshare? Maybe their family has a cabin. See if you can get free lodging there first. Another thing you might want to consider is camping. Camping can be free or cheap, and honestly, it can make for a super memorable vacation. If you're not camping type, you might want to stay in the city. Small cities can often be cheap, have plenty of fun, unique things to do, but my one caution about a small city is flights. Make sure that the city has plenty of cheap, direct flights. Often, bigger cities actually have cheaper airfare to get to. And that leads me to big cities. Another big benefit of that is that there are plenty of options to do, plenty of things for your group to split up if not everyone has the same budget, and you also get the benefit of public transit, making it cheap or easy to get around. Number 4, let's talk about lodging. While you might be staying in a hotel, it's actually more common for groups to stay in a vacation rental. Vacation rentals are a nice way for everyone to have their own separate bedroom, but still stay together under one roof. Vacation rentals can often be a money saver, especially if there's a kitchen. Then your group might be able to cook big meals at home, which can be really fun and save you time and money from going out to a restaurant. By the way, if you're going to cook, just decide ahead of time who is buying groceries, who is the chef, and who is cleaning. Nobody wants a fight around a big mess or doing chores. If you're drinking, a vacation rental also means that you can pop a bottle of wine on the front porch and enjoy it together rather than having to worry about separating a separate bar tab. That said, vacation rentals aren't always cheaper than hotels. Often they entail extra fees. There might be a cleaning fee, so make sure you compare the two costs before automatically assuming that a vacation rental is cheaper. Vacation rentals also have a few other pitfalls. Often checkout can be pretty complicated rather than just going to the front desk of a hotel. They might also have change and cancellation policies that aren't as flexible as what you would expect from a standard hotel. And often vacation rentals have no parties rules. Depending on the nature of your trip, that might not work for you. Number 5, create an agreement. Before you put any money down, make sure that you're on the same page about the above money topics and a few others. Like, consider how all the money is being split. Is everyone paying for their own expenses individually, or are you going to add up the group costs and then at the end divide it evenly? It doesn't really matter which one you ultimately choose as long as it's the answer that works well for your group. And have a plan in case someone backs out of the trip. You don't want to put down money for non-refundable expenses only to have someone not actually go on the trip. Say that you've booked 2 rental cars because you have a group of 8, but then 3 people back out. Now you only have 5 people on the trip when instead of having 2 rental cars, you could have gotten away with a single sedan. The agreement can be as informal as you want, but it wouldn't hurt to have something in writing so that way if someone backs out, you can still keep them accountable for costs that they said they would pay for and now aren't going to. And finally, realize that bachelor and bachelorette parties are certainly expensive. While they're always so much fun to go on, realize that it's completely okay to back out. Just make sure you give the bride and groom advance notice. Keep in mind, you're already spending a ton of money on the wedding costs themselves, so don't feel pressured that you have to go on this trip as well. Asking your friends to spend money does have a lot of emotions involved. But remember, the same principles for saving money on any trip apply to this one too. Because yes, even frugal travelers can still have fun. I'm Sally French, a travel and credit cards writer for NerdWallet. The most memorable bachelorette party I ever went to was staying on a geodesic dome on the beach in California. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe.